Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Abby if you are new here. Today I'm going to be trying out a really exciting, cool product, and that is the Silisponge. I got this cool little thing for Christmas and I've been wanting to put it to the test to see if it works as well as a beauty blender like it kind of claims to, and just kind of see what it's all about. This thing is different than a beauty blender because obviously it's made out of silicone. It feels a lot different. It looks a lot different. This has been all over the internet. Everyone has been talking about these and just been so interested into this, so I'm going to try it out for myself. This is supposed to alleviate any bacteria that would cause breakouts on your face that would be harbored in your beauty blender. So this is supposed to be a healthier option. Also, this is supposed to save up to 50% of your product use. Because it's not going to soak into the beauty blender like a beauty blender does, this is supposed to save up a lot of product, so ultimately it could save you money. These things retail for $9.95 on the website, so I'm just going to be testing it out to see how it works. I'm going to take off all my face makeup, zoom you guys in, and we will do a demo to see how this applies to my foundation. Okay, so now that you guys are nice and zoomed in and I do not have any face makeup on, we are going to get started testing this out. So the first thing I'm going to do is apply this e.l.f. Poreless Primer just on my fingers. This is what I normally do, so I want to stay as true to my routine as I normally do to give this a fair assessment. So I'm just going to put that on my fingers, stay in my T-zone, and then lightly spread it out to the rest of my face like I normally do. This is just standard. Okay, and then moving on to foundation, I'm going to be using this Coverall Wet n Wild foundation. I haven't used this in a long time, so I just thought I would try this one. I'm just going to put some on the back of my hand. This is a normal amount for me, so we're going to see if this lasts longer, if it doesn't last as long, or what it does compared to my beauty blender. I'm just going to dip my little Silisponge into this. Immediately, this is kind of weird right away because normally it kind of blends out into my hand. That's okay. And I'm just going to go right onto my cheeks. Okay, so right away, I can see the imprints from the sponge into my foundation right away. Okay, let's see, maybe if I... Okay, so far that's really not doing a bad job. My biggest thing is just the imprints. I can see where the sponge is actually pressing, but that might go away as the foundation kind of dries down a little bit. I definitely feel like the foundation's going a longer way. Like, I still have a good amount on my hand, so I feel like it's spreading out pretty well and it's gliding over the skin. It's honestly just more awkward than anything. Holding the sponge is actually pretty difficult. I don't know if it's just the primer that I put on my fingers, but it's actually slipping out of my hands and just kind of feels awkward. This thing also kind of feels hard on my face, so I kind of feel like I'm like punching my face with it. But again, the foundation is going, oops, I got that in my eyebrow. This foundation is going a very long way. And I'm definitely having to go back and work with it. Like, I'm having to make sure those lines are not staying in my foundation. Okay, so looking in a mirror up close, again, I can really see the lines. It's kind of just looking like the foundation is sitting on top of my face rather than like being pressed into my skin. I'm like really having a hard time trying to blend it into my skin. It kind of is also feeling very wet on the skin. Like, my skin to the touch feels super wet and kind of gross. I'm not into that. And maybe that's also because it's not soaking up the excess. So maybe there's just too much product left on my skin. I'm not sure, because normally that doesn't really bother me too much or feel too odd. Okay, I think that's about as blended as it's going to get. Let's move on to concealer and give that a shot. So I'm just going to be using my Superstay Better Skin Concealer by CoverGirl in the shade Light. Just underneath my eyes, on my forehead, down my nose, on my chin, like I always do. And then I'm going to go in with my Silisponge and blend that out. I feel like, yeah, I feel like also this is kind of going to be difficult to get. I just got that on my eyelashes. Okay, so this is definitely very difficult to get really, really close to your eye because it doesn't have like any pointed tip or anything. Maybe if I can fold it. I don't want to like pop the sponge. Okay, so it's like really difficult to get underneath your eyes. Maybe if I didn't actually have makeup on, it would be easier if I did this like before I did my eye makeup. But so far it's just kind of big and bulky, to be honest. Okay, I hope that you guys can see this. I don't know how much the viewfinder is going to pick up, but underneath my eye right here, there are a ton of like jab prints underneath my eye that do not look good. I'm going to try to kind of blend those out some more, but it's just really hard to get up underneath that eye really close without like poking yourself like I just did. I don't know if you can hear this, but it's kind of also slapping my skin a little bit. It's very odd. Okay, that's not looking too bad. It's really not looking too bad. This is not the worst product I've ever used to apply my makeup, but it is also taking a little bit longer than like my normal Beauty Blender or Real Techniques sponge would take me. I am finding that this is like very difficult to blend. You have to go back and forth and kind of wait for your product to dry a little bit and set a little bit so it's not too wet where it's leaving all of those marks. But I find that after it sets for a little bit, then you go back in with the sponge, you can press out those marks that it's making, but that also is just kind of inconvenient because now you're wasting your time. So let me set and put on the rest of my face and I will be back to give you all the pros and cons and just do a recap on what I think about this product. Okay, so now that I have the rest of my face makeup on and I've kind of been playing with it and looking at it in the mirror, I want to give you kind of the final recap of what I think about this product. Okay, so I definitely don't think that this product is bad. It definitely has good qualities about it. The fact that it is only $10 is a really good thing because this can last up to 3 years long, so you're not going to be replacing it. Beauty blenders are about $20 and you do have to replace them about every 3 months is recommended. So this is an affordable option and it is going to save you money in that aspect. It is also going to save you money in the fact that it is going to save product. I did find that it saved my product. It made my product go longer on my actual face and I really do like that about it. Again, this is hypoallergenic. It does not have any pores, so therefore bacteria is not going to be harbored inside of this, and then whenever you put it back on your face, the bacteria is not going to be then spread on your face, preventing breakouts and pimples and all the things that we really, really hate. So that is another really good pro about this. So this does not have to be wetted, and I know that that's kind of like a really weird thing to say, but like whenever I sit down and I'm about to apply my makeup and I forget that I forgot to wet my sponge, it is the most annoying thing that just comes over you that you're like, ah, I have to get all the way back up, go to the sink, because normally I do my makeup like usually in my bedroom. I have to go all the way back to the sink to my bathroom, wet it, and then come back, sit right back down. So that's another thing that's just inconvenient, but this saves you that. As far as coverage goes, I do find that this Silisponge allowed me to have a more full coverage foundation look without necessarily having to put on an extra layer or anything like that, or even use a thicker layer. I didn't find that I was using more product to build it up because it kind of allows the makeup to sit on top of your skin without pushing it into your skin and being absorbed. I do find that you get a fuller coverage. So that, in my opinion, is a pro. That's one thing to consider whenever you are looking to purchase this. But there are some cons to this product. I did find that it did take longer to apply my makeup. It was really hard to hold in my hand while I was applying it, so I was having to like grip it in different ways and it just took a long time. Also being that I had to kind of wait for my foundation to set to be able to press it in without the lines being formed in my foundation. I did find that it took longer all around just to apply my makeup, which is kind of inconvenient. Also, it's hard to hold. Like I said, I did use a silicone-based primer, so that might be part of it, but it was definitely slipping out of my hand. Like I was dropping it, which isn't too big of a deal because you can just wipe it off and keep going, but I was definitely dropping it a lot, which is not ideal if you're trying to like put on your makeup quickly or anything like that. Also, it did not have a sharp point to really get underneath my lash line and get that concealer into that inner corner. As you guys could see, I was having a really hard time getting close enough where it was blending all that concealer in. So that is another con. Also, like around the nose area, if I was pressing it in this way, it would make lines on my nose this way. If I was like pressing it that way, it would make lines on my cheek area. So it was just really inconvenient to get in those smaller crevices of your face. I did find that really challenging. Also, if you guys are wondering, this cannot be used to set your powder like a beauty blender can. I tried it just for kicks and giggles to see how it would work, and I just did not like it at all. It was again just making my powder really like creasy, and I didn't like that. Also, I could not get underneath my eye. I know I already said that, but even with the powder, there was just nothing that was getting it close enough to my lash line about that thing. Again, I just dropped it, so I'm telling you, this thing is very, very slippery and hard to hold on to. All in all, I don't think that this is a bad product. My foundation looks really pretty right now. Even looking in the mirror, I don't think it looks bad. I just think my beauty blender is a little bit more easy to use and is a little bit quicker, and I would honestly rather just waste a little bit more product to get that faster result. In my opinion, I just found it a lot easier to use than this. But if you guys are wanting to try it out, I definitely recommend to try it because it is a fun, cool thing to have in your makeup collection. And that's about it. I think I pretty much covered everything that I found about this product. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe before you guys leave, and I will see you in my next video. Take care and God bless.